There is maximum serenity in a forest. However, the serenity is almost exhausted by the rough entry of Fel the fox and a young boy. They had been through the woods earlier, racing effortlessly. The young man had sustained a few bruises, after which the fox inquired to know the reason for the bruises. He explains that it is apparently as a result of their rough adventure. He inquires to know if they have arrived at their destination, which was originally supposed to be the ocean. However, Fel explains that they had only stopped by the lakeside because he was hungry and needed to have a bite of fish. The young boy is confused. However, he does not have a choice. As he settles down to go fishing for Fel, he encounters some difficulties with trying to tame a large number of fish in the river. Fel affirms that it is very easy to trap fish. The young boy disagrees, as he's confused about how to catch the fish without a fishing rod. Fel seizes the forest for a few minutes as he lets out a sharp cry that causes a lightning bolt to strike across the river. In a jiffy, all the fish in the sea stop moving and are on the surface of the water. The young boy is surprised at Fel's exercise of skill. He inquires to know if all the fish that had appeared at the top of the river are dead. Fel states that he had only paralyzed them, and it will only take a few minutes for them to get back in their normal state. He picks up a basket and goes to the river to select them one after the other so he can cook them. He picks the normal small set of fish, after which he comes across a very large one and then a poisonous pink one. Fel had asked him to pick the fish as it had a suiting flavor. However, he ignores the foxes and trashes them, claiming that they are harmful to nature. The young boy slices through the fish one after the other as he follows a procedure he had once watched on the internet. He urges the impatient Fel to relax as he gets the meal ready. Eventually, he prepares a delicious meal in 3 places with the resources Fel had gotten for him. He makes a salted grilled trout, a baked king trout in foil, and a king trout meuniere. Fel quickly digs his mouth into the food without the young boy's invitation, as each of them settle down to enjoy their meal. He compliments it with a can of beer. They express their maximum satisfaction at the meal as they could not have enough. We wish there was absolutely no time to end the food session. The baked foil goes pretty well with mushrooms, and the meuniere also goes with the tartar sauce perfectly. They point out the other things they notice about the meal as they express their satisfaction and delight with the meal. They rest after eating the fish meal, as Fel remarks that he would greatly appreciate it if they could keep having such delicious treats. The young boy is fascinated by camping and making fish meals, which interests Fel a little bit. The young boy had hardly moved 2 inches from Fel when his foot struck a little object, like a stone. He moves close to observe it after jerking away in fear at first. He notices that the object is in a ball shape and has a soft nature. He identifies it as a slime, a gentle monster in the real sense who has not grown, Fel explains. Fel calms him down and tells him that there is no need to make a big fuss about it, as the slime is a weakling. The young boy is not convinced as he inquires to know if slimes attack people. Fel assures him of safety as he affirms that slimes of that level will just be eaten. He becomes a little bit convinced after this as he moves closer to the slime and rubs his body. The slime appears to be very adorable, soft and bouncy like jelly. Fel states that it was born just 3 days ago, and it should still be very weak. If the slime goes out of the wood, it is very possible that it gets crushed by other monsters. The slime begins to make gestures at the young man, who is quick to detect that it is probably very hungry. However, he is sad to admit that the meal for that day was finished. The slime bounces towards the leftovers on the food table. However, to the surprise of everyone, instead of jumping to reach the leftovers on the table, the slime begins to consume edible and non-edible objects. This is a great shock to the young man except Fel, who already knows so much about the slimes. The slime does not only consume edible and non-edible things, it also eats garbage and helps trash some unnecessary objects. The young boy remarks that the slime is too friendly to be called a monster. Fel tells him to quickly give the slime a name to trash the idea that slimes are monsters. The young boy listens and quickly names the slime as Sui. The slime expresses satisfaction at the mention of this, as it seems to like the name. There's a love sign that pops out over the slime's body to show satisfaction and agreement. The young boy goes deep into the forest to practice his skills farther as he checks his stone bullet in an attempt to see if it has finally yielded a good result. Fel says he is rather slow at learning things. However, he claims that it is a new aptitude he got after fire magic. Fel suggests that they have the experience one more time so that he can acquire more skills with fire magic, as he had done in the past experience. He is disgusted after reminiscing on his first experience. He affirms that he does not want to go through something like that ever again, as it was an awful experience. He goes to sit down right after this remark as he has to drink water after his training. Sui tries to collect the water from him, but he keeps it away from it as he notices that Sui has grown rather bigger than before. The slime is probably growing because it's feeding well and adequately. Fel becomes very hungry as he tells the young boy. However, Fel at that time will not settle for anything apart from meat as he craves it at the spot. The young boy gets to work as he prepares a miso-marinated meat bowl. After eating the meat, Fel expresses his satisfaction after tasting the orc meat alongside the young boy. He is happy that he no longer finds the food in the forest as strange, as adaptation is taking place. To quench his satisfaction, Fel desperately asks for another bowl of meat. Sui also wants to get more as the young boy goes to dish it out the second time. After the meal, they retire for the evening as the young boy notices again that Sui has gained more buff. Sui did not only gain more buff, Sui can also clean the dishes by absorbing the dirt on the utensils. This has made the young boy very happy. As he compares the slime to Fel, the fox who only lies around waiting to eat at intervals instead of directly helping out with things. He tells Sui to work very hard so that it can increase in size. Sui affirms this by activating the love sign that states that the slime agrees to something. The young boy decides to serve dorayaks to top off the meal they had eaten earlier. It is supposed to serve as desserts after their meal. The young boy affirms that it is very relaxing and refreshing, as he enjoys the sweetness that comes with a dessert. The fox affirms that it's very similar to the sweet bread he ate previously. The outside is very fluffy, and the dark beans in it are even sweeter than what he had before. The boy explains that it is a red bean paste. The anpan he had before had also had red bean paste in it. The type they were last time was crushed koshian. The dorayaki uses crunchy subuan. Fel is not so concerned about his explanation as he inquires if he does more. This is rather impossible for the tired boy, who insists that they make another one later. The very next morning, Fel and Sui are awake except the young boy, who is still in bed drooling. Sui goes to tickle him with his fingers as Fel stands over him and tells him to get up, as he has something important to discuss with him. The young boy is curious and quickly gets up to listen to Fel. Fel states that he had received a message the previous night. The boy's face brightened immediately from sleep as he inquired to know about the message quickly. Fel continues, stating that he had received a divine message from Ninrir, the goddess of wind. The goddess heard his wishes and is willing to gift him with a blessing. The boy had always gotten angry over the fact that the goddess had only blessed Fel over time, and had not even considered him for once. His face brightens at the thought of the goddess blessing him. However, Fel warns him, stating that he is given a condition, which is that she wishes to receive prayer offerings of otherworldly sweets once in a while. There is also a message that there is no full blessing because it will be minor and in bits. The boy is rather confused and uncertain about this reaction. Fel, however, explains that the minor blessing will make him immune to status ailments, except instant death effects and very strong curses. He will also be able to use his magic more easily. He must also offer a prayer once a week to top all of that. The boy exclaims as he is surprised as to why he has to do so many things for just something very small. He inquires about the procedures for the prayer. As there is no altar to carry the task out, Fel explains that he can make use of anywhere as his altar. The most important thing is the sweets from the world. He also adds that she wishes that her first offering would be anpan, cream bread, and melon bread. The boy quickly prepares this as he offers it to the goddess. To his surprise, she accepts the prayer supplements and creates a forum for blessing. The boy is excited as he focuses on the transformation in his body system. The goddess, however, in her world expresses her delight after tasting the snacks. She had always wondered what happiness was like for a human. So, what was it? She notices that the food was getting exhausting as she groans in dissatisfaction. She affirms the saying that good things never last as they must finish quickly. She tries to consume them slowly but fails at this as she consumes everything uncontrollably. The boy goes to test out his blessing as he records the changes in his training and success rate. He also notices that Sui has attained level 13. He tries to rest after the training by eating sweet supplements, a chocolate, and a drink. Sui goes to ask him for some, as he willingly breaks a part of the chocolate for Sui. They awaited Fel's return as he had gone to sort out something earlier. Immediately, the boy closes the talk chapter of Fel. He comes walking in their direction. He sniffs that the boy has had something sweet, and so he demands his share of the sweetness. He gives Fel many chocolates, after which the goddess tries to communicate with him. She asks him to also send her some chocolate and a drink. The boy is confused as to why she's not keeping to the agreement. He had sent her a supplement earlier, and it was apparently too early to demand another. The goddess, however, is careless about this and asks him to send it nevertheless. He eventually sends it there, after which she appreciates him. Fel then decides to take him somewhere else immediately after the prayer supplement. Despite the fact that the boy is confused, he is left without an option than to race through the woods on Fel's back, again to a different destination on purpose. Did you enjoy this recap? If you did, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel, so we can bring you the recap of the next episode. Until next time, do take care and